Hi everybody, in this video I'm going to walk you through the steps to assembling the train. We're not going to do anything worrying about the wheels moving or anything like that. That'll be another video later on, but just to walk you through the quick steps that you need to assemble this thing and get it all put into place. For the sake of time, I've done a lot of the steps beforehand, but first thing you'll want to do is click New and just choose a standard assembly, not a weldment assembly, but a standard assembly. Make sure that you're working within the train project folder that you created earlier, so your file here will be placed with all of your other files that deal with the train. When you do that, you click Create. It's going to pop up with something like this. And your job is to go through and click on Place and choose all the different parts that you have and choose the individual parts that you're going to need to assemble, which in this case are going to be things like the cow catcher and the axle pegs. You'll need 4 of those. You'll need a hitch magnet. You'll need the hitch pegs, so on and so forth. Okay. So again, for the sake of time for this video creation, I've already taken those and just placed them all. Okay. I actually would not recommend doing this. I would recommend just adding one part at a time and then constraining it, and then adding another part and then constraining it. But again, I'm trying to save time here for the ease of the video. Okay. The first thing that I would recommend, in fact, I'm going to tell you, you need to do this, is you need to ground something. And that means when you ground it, that means it's locked down, it won't move anymore. And you're going to see over here on the left-hand side, whatever is grounded has a little push pin on it. Okay, so the train body in this case is what I would suggest to you is grounded. So notice I cannot move it around, whereas I can take anything else and I can move it, right? The train body stays put. Another thing, whenever you place it, if your view's all weird, you know, if it looks like this is your home view and you don't want to work with that, another tool that I would recommend that you use is called the Look At tool. It looks like this little flip book here, but if you click on it and then you click on any surface, it's going to square up that surface. So I click on Look At and then I click here and it squares it up with me. And I can come back over here and I can right click on this box and I say set the current view as the front, and then I can come over here and click on the corner and set that as my home fit to view. And that way, whenever I'm doing all kinds of crazy stuff and I accidentally get to a point where I'm like this, I can always come back and click on home and it brings that train body back to a nice isometric view. Okay, with that in mind, let's get ready. Okay, what you need to understand is until I get to the parts where I need to do my animation of my wheels, where I need the wheels to turn properly, which is, again, that's another video. Everything we're going to do here is just insert constraints. So I'm going to click on constrain. Doesn't matter what order you go, but I'm going to use the insert constraint. And I'm simply just going to walk through the process of every single thing that has like a hole associated with it, like this stack here, for instance. I'm going to click here. Okay, notice that's going to be the top edge, right? So I'm going to click also, then the next one is here. It's done. I click apply. I zoom out, I go find the next one. For instance, I could do, and sometimes you're going to find out that you're going to have to work around this this view here. So for instance, if I want to insert pegs, let's just go this way. Ready? I can click on this axle peg, turn around my view, and notice you'll notice I'm always clicking on corners of the boxes here, and I just insert it into the wheel. Click apply. Then I go here and I say, well, now I need this to be inserted all the way into the hole right here, and so on and so forth. The only one really that people struggle with is the cow catcher, and I'll show you that one next. Okay, so for the cow catcher, what I would recommend is that you go here and you choose one of these pegs. You say I'm going to insert it all the way in, so I need to go right here, that surface, and then I'm going to come over here and click on the top one. I'm going to click OK for just a second. Okay, now the problem is it's really tough to grab one of those other pegs to do another insert, because that's really what I'm trying to do. So you notice if I swing it the correct way, I can still see this peg, right? And I can still see the hole on the other view that it's associated with. So I'd recommend that. That's one way to do it. Let me show you another trick. You know, easily I could go in and just do the insert and be done with this. But for the sake of you learning something new, I want to show you one other thing. That's called the free move tool. Okay. What I also could have done is just chosen free move, clicked on the cow catcher, and then it allows me to pull it out, even though it's constrained. Remember, we had that insert constraint there. I right click and I choose OK. And now I'm able to, oh, I accidentally clicked it. You know what? If I come over here, I do that again, I pull this out. Now I'm able to go into constraints, choose insert, and I can wheel around and I can easily see that peg now, right? And I can say, now this one needs to go into that spot. I click OK, and I'll notice that with 2 pegs in place, the third one obviously has to be in place as well. It's done. So again, for the sake of time, I'm not going to show you the rest. Your job is to use the insert constraint. Now, one last thing. As you go on, you'll notice that if I expand each individual part, I'm going to see the constraints that are listed with that part. So I can see all the inserts that are listed with the train body. And that's okay, but I would totally recommend instead that you use the relationships folder here and you expand that. It's going to show you every single insert that you did, every single constraint that you added in the order that you added them. And so that's one easy way to keep tabs on the things that you've done in order to create this assembly. Now, your job is to get it to look like this. When you have it to this point, you're good to go.